Hello friends, welcome back once again to my channel. Hope you all are well by the grace of God. Stay home, stay safe, and as I mentioned earlier, that enjoy the time and utilize the time as your own best possible way. Today we are going to discuss about a very important topic that is listed in the syllabus of from class 8 in the biology portion, but it is very important for the future studies who wants to proceed their future with the subject called biology. That is the basic foundation of the chapter, that is the cell and cell organelles. Though cell chapter contains cell cycle, cell division and other processes also, so this is a very diverse topic. Today I am just beginning my first part of the lecture, that is about cell and cell organelles. I will request all the listeners, all the students specifically, to please listen unto the last very carefully. So, without wasting much time, I'm just going directly to my presentation. So, let's have a look. You have to know what is the cell. Cell, the name cell comes from the cellula. Cellula is a Latin word whose meaning is basically hollow chamber. But when you are going to informed by the structure of cell, there you will find no hollow chamber inside it. Rather, it is filled up of cytoplasm, several cell organelle. So we can say the name of cell is quite misnomer. Anyways, the cell is a structural and functional unit of all living organisms. That what we can say. Our body is composed of trillions of cells. For your kind of information, I want to inform you that mycoplasma is a bacteria, uh, basically Mycoplasma gallisepticum, or some scientists say Mycoplasma ledlii, is the smallest cell of the world, and the egg of ostrich is the largest cell of the world. This is a historical line of the development of cell and cell theory. First of all, it starts from ancient Greek periods, and after the discovery of first simple microscope by Antony von Leeuwenhoek, then by the discovery of electron microscope, and electron microscope is developed by Knoll and Ruska. The total structure of cell has been derived and has been decoded, we can say. So first, Robert Hooke, this man at 1665 identified and named the cells. After the two very important persons, that is Sladen and Swan, you know their names in the discoverer of cell theory. Sladen was a botanist, Swan was a zoologist. They derived the cell theory, the main contributors of cell theory, you can say. And after that, Rudolf Virchow, he inaugurated the cell doctrine. So the main say of the cell theory, that is the all living things are composed of cells, and cells are the basic units of structure and function in living things. The third one was quite controversial at the time of the cell theory discovery. that all cells are produced from other cells, but after their work, Rudolf Virchow showed that omnis cellula e cellula. In the meaning of this portion is that every cell is derived from the pre-existing cells. So then after that, the third point also included in the cell theory. That is about modern cell theory. Modern cell theory is quite changed from the primitive cell theory after the discovery of DNA and other latest researches. So there is some statements of modern cell theory. The this one is very important, that shows the level of cellular organization. One organism makes up of some organ systems. Like our human being, they composed of some systems like digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory systems. Organ system composed of some organs, like our digestive system composed of liver, stomach, esophagus, etc. An organ is composed of some tissues. Some tissues are composed of cells. So this is the gradation of cellular level organization. Types of the cells that's derived from the stem cells. Different types of cells are there. The basic difference between eukaryote and prokaryote cells. Pro means the primitive and eu means the latest or the developed one. Okay. There is a difference between plant and animal cell. Uh, the starking difference between plant and animal cell is the presence of cell wall in plant cell, which is absent in animal. Presence of chloroplast in plant cell. There is no chloroplast in animal cell. Centrioles present, which is also called centrosome as a cell organelle. In animal cell, most of the plant cell have no centrioles. Lysosomes are rare also in plant cell. This is quite common in the animal cells. So there are some striking differences of plant and animal cell. Now we have to discuss one by one about the cell organelles. First of all, the cell membrane. This is present in both animal and plant cell. This is the structure of cell membrane. There are extracellular fluid, cytoplasm and the transmembrane region. You can see there are some different kinds of protein, globular protein, integral protein, etc. They are carbohydrate, cholesterol, glycolipids, all the constituents of the cell membrane, or you can say biomembrane also. The most fundamental biomembrane model is the Singer-Nicholson's theory. That is, you know, the protein lipid protein model. 1972 probably they have given this model. So this is the structure of biomembrane, and there is also the structure, the cell membrane structure, etc. There, integral, peripheral, channel protein there is present. Though I will discuss about the membrane transport system in later classes, but for the introduction you may know that the channels are the transporter channels of the medium of the transport of several molecules like sodium, oxygen, carbon dioxide, glucose. By the what is transporting through the channel, on the basis of that the names has been given. This is the cell wall, structure of a cell wall. The main component of plant cell wall is the cellulose, and others are hemicellulose, pectin, etc., which have a difference in the bacterial cell wall. The main component of bacterial cell wall is the peptidoglycan. This is a very important question, sometimes also comes in the exam. What is the main difference between bacterial and plant cell wall? These are some cellular junctional complexes. I mean, cell-cell junction has different types. You will get a very elaborated description on the about the junctional complexes in higher classes, but there are some tight junctions, gap junctions, desmosomal junctions, etc. present, which holds the total cellular structures. Now comes to one of the most important portion of the cell, that is the vacuole. Vacuole, first of all, I want to say that this is present in both animals and plants. Though they are more prominent in plants, they are prominent plant vacuoles are bigger in size. They called tonoplast. They are content of sap, so they are also called the sap vacuoles. The animal vacuoles are smaller in size, and also they are numerous in number. The main functions like isolating the harmful or threat of the cell, the materials that can be containing to maintain the pH, to allow the uh, transport of the leaves, etc. Uh, the main function is the storage of the food products and also maintains the turgidity of the cell. The contractile vacuole that is present in the unicellular organisms, they are responsible for osmoregulation and keeping the water balance in their body like amoeba, etc. So this is plastid. Plastid present in the plant cell, which is not present in the animal cells. This is a structure of chloroplast. The structures like thylakoid space, stroma, the complex array of thylakoid is called the granum. This is the outer membrane and this is the inner membrane. It is a double membrane cell organelle. Ernst Haeckel and there are the discoverers of the plastid. According to the storage food product or the purpose or the working purpose, plastid has been different types like etioplast, chromoplast. Chromoplast containing the plastid without chlorophyll. Chloroplast contains chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, you know, the main pigment for the photosynthesis. They are green in color. That's why the chloroplast is green in color. Chloroplast chlorophyll can be different types: chlorophyll A, B, C, D, etc., which is responsible for making foods of the plants, which is called photosynthesis. Leucoplast, they synthesis of fatty acids and amino acid. Amyloplast, they store the starch. Etioplast, they lipids and soils. Proteinoplast, they sites of enzyme activity. So these are the plastid. The space between two membrane is called the periplastidial space. It is the most important cell organelle, you can say, because this is the mitochondria. The structure of mitochondria, there is two membrane present, inner membrane, outer membrane, finger-like projections, they called cristae. There are some granules, it is called the F1 particles or Fernandez-Moran subunit, etc. By in it the ribosome present, etc. What is it is also called the powerhouse of cell because it produces the ATP, which is known as the energy currency. Single membrane mitochondria is called the mitoplast. Both animal and plant cell, the mitochondria is present. Altman and Benda are the discoverer, or you can say the first who gave the structure of mitochondria. Just like plastid, the spaces between two mitochondrial membrane is called perimitochondrial space. So these are the structures of mitochondria, and uh, mitochondrial transport mechanism is also here. So this is about more things. You know, the mitochondria is responsible in the cellular respiration. That means from by the photosynthesis from chloroplast with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll and capillaries water with and carbon dioxide. Photosynthesis, they release the oxygen and glucose. It is taken by mitochondria. Mitochondria produces ATP, and by the cellular respiration they release the carbon dioxide and water. This is called the cellular respiration. It is also called the semi-autonomous organelle because it has his own organelle structure, some sorts of, because we can in the higher classes you will have to know that meaning of mitochondrial uh, plastid. Mitochondria has its own DNA. So according to Margulis 1917, they have he actually first time told that mitochondria is semi-autonomous organelle and endosymbiotic in origin. There are team-tom oxa complexes are present in the mitochondrial membrane or the inner structure of mitochondria. This is the structure of mitochondria. Just earlier I mentioned mitochondrial DNA, though it is not very elaborated in your syllabus in class 8, 9 standard, but in future, for the future aspects, you who is interested, they must know that, they must have to know the mitochondrial DNA is today in modern biology, the use of mitochondrial DNA is very much So what are the advantages? Why they are using the mitochondrial DNA? That is, they have high copy number, limited samples can be present from, they are less prone to degradation, highly variable among individuals, etc., etc., are present at the advantageous characters of mitochondrial DNA. Next one is the centriole or centrosome. The actual cell organelle is called the centrosome, discovered by Van Beneden 1883, or some says than 1888 by Theodore Boveri. The main structure of centrosome is the cartwheel structure, and this is cartwheel structure has been shown here in an enlarged way. There are these are called the muscle or the pericentriolar satellites. In here, there are some triplets like ABC. There are the triplets. In each cartwheel structure, there are 9 spokes present. Here are two types of arrangement. If there are in central, there are two centrioles present, like these two are present. In case of eukaryote, it is called the 9+2 arrangement. But if there are no centrioles or the satellites are present inside the centrosome, it is the 9+0 arrangement, which is generally shown in case of the prokaryotic animals. So these are some structures of centrosome or centrioles. There are the function. One very interesting fact, it was known that centrosome only present in the animal cells, but plant cell also has the centrosome. Though it is very exception case, plant cells have centrosomes that function much like animal cell centrosomes. However, unlike centrosomes in animal cells, they do not have the centrioles. So this is the striking difference between plant and animal centrosome. They basically responsible for forming the microtubules and help in the time of cell division. Next one is the lysosome. Lysosome contains the 60 kinds of digestive hydrolytic enzymes. They help in fertilizations. Some disorders are caused by the absence of lysosomal enzymes. They has been given. Discovery by Christian René de Duve at 1950s. It is also known as suicidal bag because it actually destroys its own uh, mm, pathogenic activity or etc. So these are called the suicidal bag by its proteolytic activity of the enzymes. When a food particle, when some you can say the invading something comes to the contact of plasma lemma, then phagocytic vacuoles engulfs it, then phagosome forms, and after the phagosome there are the from the vesicle of the Golgi bodies, the primary lysosome and secondary lysosome forms, and finally these will go to the residual bodies, and finally they will fuse to the cell membrane and release the cellular material. By this way, the total presentation of the pathogen and also the uh, total phagocytic activity of cell that has been uh, done. So these are the lysosomes. Next one is the ribosome. Next one is the ribosome. Ribosome is the cell organelle that present in both animal and plant cell. They have no cell membrane. These are the structures of ribosomes. They have large and small subunit present here. The ribosome was discovered by Emil Palade, and they are basically known as the protein factory of cell because they help in the synthesis of protein by the translation process from the mRNA. These are the structures of ribosome. Now one of the most important one, that is the endoplasmic reticulum. There have been two types, rough and smooth. Rough contains the ribosome, so they are responsible for protein synthesis, and smooths are responsible for various functions like making lipids and breaking down the toxic substance. Discoverers are Porter and Thomsons. It is present in all eukaryotic cells and cytoplasm except in mammalian RBC. It is double membrane cell organelle. There are the structures of endoplasmic reticulum. Next one is the Golgi bodies. Golgi bodies are also macromolecules. They create the lysosomes. The discoverer are Camillo Golgi. It is also present in the eukaryotic cells except the mammalian RBC. This is the double membrane organelle. There two portions are present, the trans-Golgi network and cis-Golgi network. They have three parts, that is cisternae, vesicle and vacuole. Their structure has been given here. This is the membrane transport from the endoplasmic reticulum. It is goes to the first the cis-Golgi network, then the trans-Golgi network. From the trans-Golgi network, the packaging of the food present occurs by there are some receptors present like KDL receptor, KEL receptor. Finally, they will fuse to the by the exocytosis process. They will fuse to the plasma membrane, and the ultimate destination of the proteins or the food materials has happened. Golgi, endoplasmic reticulum and lysosome togetherly called the GERL complex. This is the transport from the Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, the in the lysosome, primary lysosome, secondary lysosome, the phagosome, phagolysosome, and finally this is called the anterograde and retrograde transport of the food, and finally the exocytosis will occur. This is called the protein transport. Though in the role of protein trafficking and protein sorting, there is also role of the ribosomes and the endoplasmic reticulum present. I will discuss later in the detailed mechanism of protein trafficking, transport, and protein sorting process. This is the protein synthesis process. When the protein has been synthesized in the process called the translation in ribosome, the mRNA contains the codon and tRNA. The transfer RNA contains the anticodon, proton anticodon. They are complementary structures, and by this way, the protein synthesis occurs. There are three sites, APE sites in the ribosome: attachment, peptidyl transferase site to transfer some peptidyl molecules. In the process of translation, translation process is not in the elaborated way in your syllabus, but it is the main mechanism of protein synthesis, and in later you have to know the three fundamental process of replication, transcription and translation. That is, replication means the DNA when produces its own copy, and from DNA RNA, that is the transcription, and from the mRNA, that is messenger RNA, to the protein, that is the translation process. You have to know, this is called the central dogma of cell biology. There are some famous quotes that is related to the cell that has been given, not need to be discussed so much. So last of all, thanks a lot for listening such an elaborated lecture. I think so a plethora of thanks from my corner to all the listeners who have listened. Uh, so not more today. Please stay tuned for the next videos or next elongation of this chapter in future. Till then, goodbye.